Welcome to the Irvine Valley College 2025 Commencement Ceremony. Our graduation ceremonies are set to begin. As a courtesy, please silence your cell phones. I ask our guests that are able to, please rise for the processional and remain standing until the presentation of colors and the singing of our national anthem has concluded. We also ask for the removal of caps and hats. Our processional and pomp and circumstance will now begin.
Graduates, would you please rise? And for those who are able, please remain standing while the Irvine Police Honor Guard presents the colors and for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Our thanks to IVC music major Eduardo Iñiguez and the Irvine Police Honor Guard. Will our honored guests, faculty, and graduates please be seated? Please take a moment as we honor, acknowledge, reflect, and express our sincere gratitude for and appreciation of the peoples, ancestors, and sacred land that we gather upon today. We honor the unceded ancestral homelands and traditional territories of indigenous peoples who have been here since time immemorial, and to recognize that we must continue to build solidarity and kinship with Native indigenous communities. At Irvine Valley College, we honor the Kizh Nation, the Hashiman Nation, and the Gabrielino Tongva tribe. We would also like to pay our respects to the land and life of indigenous people, the ancestors, elders, and our relatives' relations, past, present, and emerging. Welcome, buenas tardes. It is truly my honor to welcome you to the special evening as we celebrate Irvine Valley College's 40th commencement and the remarkable class of 2025. I am John Hernandez. As president, it is my honor to welcome family, friends, dedicated faculty and staff, our trustees, and all the supporters of our graduates. Tonight is particularly special to me as I have family members in attendance to celebrate the graduation of my grandniece, Cameron. Bienvenidos. At this time, I would like to introduce the platform party, and I ask if you would please hold your applause until we've finished. To my left, from the South Orange County Community College District Board of Trustees, Board Vice President Ryan Dack, Board Clerk TJ Pendergast III, Board Trustee Marcia Milchiker, our Student Trustee Charla Clemente. To my right, Classified Senate President Ace Kagiwa, Vice Chancellor of Business Services Anne-Marie Gable, Vice President of Administrative Services David Kachatrian, Vice President for Instruction Rick Miranda, Vice President for Student Services Martha McDonald, ASIVC President Clarice Encarnacion, Academic Senate President Rebecca Beck, and our full-time Teacher of the Year, Thomas Cullen. Now, please join me in welcoming to the podium the Vice President of the South Orange County Community College District Board of Trustees, Ryan Dack.
Let's make sure this is high enough for me. Good evening, everyone. It is an honor to be here with you tonight. To our graduates, on behalf of the South Orange County Community College District's Board of Trustees, congratulations. You made it. You've balanced school, work, family, and maybe even some self-doubt. And tonight, you did it. To the families, faculty, and staff, thank you for being the foundation behind this moment. I want to speak to the graduates directly for a moment, specifically the graduates who might not know what's next for them. Not as a trustee, but as someone who sat in a cap and gown over a decade ago on a hot day in May, who felt the exact same way. I graduated from San Francisco State in 2013 with a political science degree and absolutely no idea what I was supposed to do with what I had just earned. After college, I drifted, unsure of what to do. I eventually decided to go to law school, but I dropped out after one semester and felt like a failure. I didn't have a backup plan. So I returned to something simple, giving back. That value led me to UC Irvine School of Education, where I earned a teaching degree and a master's degree. Even then, it wasn't easy. I bounced between short-term teaching jobs, hoping something would stick. But in 2020, COVID hit, everything stopped. I was 29 and completely unsure if I had made yet another mistake. Then something unexpected happened. I learned the community college board, incumbent in my area, did not have a challenger. A few friends encouraged me to run, and I thought, why not? I care about education, I had the passion, and I certainly had the time. But I didn't have any money, name recognition, or a chance in hell. I lost by more than 70,000 votes. Think about that. That is SoFi Stadium at maximum capacity. A full-on political wipeout. But here's the thing. When I jumped into that race, I wasn't afraid to fail, because for the first time, I had put myself out there, knowing that what I was fighting for, knowing I made the right decision, even if it didn't end up the way I had hoped. 2 years later, a faculty member called me. That same board seat was open up again, and they asked if I'd consider running a second time. After that first door closed, another one opened. And in November of 2022, I won. Not by 70,000 votes, but let's not talk about that. Today, I serve as the vice president of this board, the youngest one in its 58-year history. I absolutely would not be here today without the many failures and disappointments I endured. And I share this story with you not because I figured it all out or because anyone asked for my biography, but because I didn't have it figured out, and I still don't. And I want you to know that is okay. Failure is okay. Uncertainty is okay. The path forward isn't always obvious. It's rarely straight. Life has a habit of taking you for a ride full of loop-de-loops, sharp turns, high highs, and low lows. But if you stay true to your values, even when things don't go as planned, I promise you, you will find your way. One of my personal heroes, Conan O'Brien, once lost the job he had worked his entire career to earn, only after 7 months on the job. And on his last night hosting The Tonight Show, he said something I'm going to echo now. Please do not be cynical. It is my least favorite quality, and it doesn't lead anywhere. Nobody in life gets exactly what they thought they were going to get, but if you work really hard and you're kind, amazing things will happen. So to the class of 2025, the world you're entering is complicated. It's full of uncertainty, and let's be honest, it can be downright scary. It can be easy to go down the rabbit hole of pessimism and cynicism when things don't go the way you had planned it. I've been there. You don't have a career history like mine without wondering what's even the point at least once. 1 year after that Tonight Show appearance, Conan spoke at Dartmouth's commencement and said, "There are few things more liberating in this life than having your worst fears realized. It is our failure to become our perceived ideal that ultimately defines us and makes us unique." Class of 2025, I will leave you with this advice. Work hard, be kind, and don't be afraid of failure. The hard work will speak for itself. The kindness will bring people into your life. And any failures you encounter will open doors you never could have imagined. And when those doors open, we can't wait to see the future you're going to build. Congratulations, class of 2025.
Thank you, Trustee Dack. 40 years ago, IVC was affectionately known, it still is to many, as the Little College in the Orange Groves. And how fitting that tonight, as we look out to the sea of blue caps and gowns, we're gathered on the very land that was once part of Irvine's rich citrus heritage. Just imagine how far we've come. From those humble beginnings, IVC has grown into a vibrant 100-acre campus. Since becoming the 105th accredited community college in 1985, we are now proudly serving more than 23,000 students each year. We've awarded well over 63,000 degrees and certificates and supported thousands more students on their journeys to universities, new careers, workforce training, and lifelong learning. But all these numbers tell more than just a story of growth. They speak to lives changed, dreams realized, and a community empowered through education. Tonight, class of 2025, you are part of that story and now part of that rich history. In a moment, I'll be sharing some remarkable numbers about your graduating class. But behind every statistic is a unique narrative of an IVC student who persevered to this moment. Each of you brings a unique story of resilience, ambition, and heart. And tonight, we honor all of it. For many of you, this moment is not just personal, it's a milestone for your family. 1 in 3 of tonight's graduates are the first in their family to earn a college degree. As a first-generation immigrant, I deeply grasp the importance of today's commencement. Just like many of you, my parents, Juan and Raquel, migrated to this country in pursuit of better opportunities for their children. Obtaining a college degree stands as a testament to the fulfillment of our family's hopes and dreams for a better life. And it not only paves our own path, but it lays the groundwork for those who will follow in your footsteps. I'd like to take a moment to recognize and honor your entire support system, be it parents, chosen family, spouses, partners, significant others, friends, or perhaps the many college personnel who have been steadfast allies on your educational journey. Let us come together in expressing heartfelt gratitude to these individuals with a round of applause. Students, your unique journeys, voices, and talents have left a lasting mark on Irvine Valley College. You've helped shape a culture of belonging, resilience, and growth, one that reflects the very best of who we are as a community. Your achievements represent more than just academic success. They represent courage, commitment, and the power of possibility. With deep appreciation and pride, I'd like to take a few moments to recognize the collective accomplishments of the class of 2025. This year, we are proud to be awarding 1,250 students with certificates of achievement, 3,147 students with either an Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, or Associate degree for transfer. That's a total of 4,397 certificates and degrees conferred. Also, this year, we're proud to recognize at least 3 sets of twins, 2 sets of triplets, and 17 households with multiple family members graduating together. Whether you're one of the twins who walked this academic journey side by side, a parent and child crossing the stage together, or another proud family combo, we celebrate the incredible bond between family and educational achievement. We're also amazed to break our own records, especially when it happens for a third time. This year, 10-year-old Zora Elling becomes IVC's youngest graduate, earning an AST in mathematics, continuing the legacy started by her sister Athena last year and her brother Tycho in 2023. Zora, if you would please stand and be recognized. Thank you. While our youngest graduate is just 10 years old, we're also proud to recognize 36 early college graduates from Beckman High School, most who have earned an IGETC Certificate of Achievement or an associate degree, all while simultaneously completing high school. This is the largest cohort of early college graduates since the program was first launched in 2007. Additionally, among those walking across the stage today are also 8 remarkable individuals aged 50 and above, reminding us that the pursuit of knowledge truly knows no age limitations. We also honor our student veterans who have brought courage, commitment, and leadership to our college community. This year, we served over 350 military and veteran students and 387 military-affiliated students, spouses, and dependents who have received benefits from the IVC Veteran Service Center. I'd like to ask our student veterans if you would please stand if you are able so we can thank you for your service. Thank you. As a campus, we're also honored to recognize the dedication and accomplishments of our ASIVC student government leaders and their outstanding contributions to student engagement and student life. If you're a member of any branch of student government and you are able, please stand to be recognized. Now let's take a moment to celebrate some highlights from the class of 2025. At this time, I'd like to recognize our students that are graduating with distinction. Would those of you who have achieved one of these three categories please stand if you are able to be recognized? We have 346 graduates who will receive cum laude honors, which is 3.50 GPA to 3.74. We have 397 total graduates receiving magna cum laude, which is honors GPA 3.75 to 3.99. And we have 187 graduates receiving summa cum laude with honors, which is a GPA of 4.0. Would all of you who have worked so hard for this accomplishment stand and be recognized? Don't be shy. Thank you. Many of you are headed to prestigious universities, including all 9 UC and multiple CSU campuses, as well as private and public universities, including University of Michigan, Amherst, University of Oregon, and many, many more, too numerous to name. Others will begin meaningful careers ready to contribute to industries and communities with skills gained through our career education programs. No matter where your path leads, you are ready. As you move forward, class of 2025, please remember, learning is a lifelong journey. The challenges ahead may be different, but you've proven to have strength, curiosity, and determination to meet them. You carry forward the values of resilience, excellence, and purpose that we hope have been cultivated here at Irvine Valley College. As we celebrate your future, we also celebrate our past. 40 years of student accomplishments, dreams, and bold possibilities. And tonight, you become part of that proud tradition. So here's to the next 40 years and to all that lies ahead. Congratulations, class of 2025. You are and always will be lasers for life. Now, please join me in welcoming to the podium Vice President for Instruction, Rick Miranda.
I am sorry. You have it? I would have winged it, but I do not want to, what would I say, cut short or not provide the proper accolades for our keynote speaker today. So, thank you. What a beautiful evening for this wonderful celebration. Tonight we come together to honor achievement, perseverance, and the promise of what lies ahead. We're here to celebrate the success of our incredible students, success that was made possible not only by their hard work, but also by the dedication of our outstanding faculty. The faculty at Irvine Valley College have the expertise to teach anywhere in higher education, yet they have chosen to teach here at IVC. Because of that choice, our students are now moving on to some of the most prestigious four-year colleges across the country. Our keynote speaker this evening is a dedicated educator, a community leader, and a proud product of the city of Irvine. He grew up just down the road from where we all sit tonight and graduated from Irvine High School in, I'm going to age him, 2005. His academic journey took him to California State University, Long Beach, where he earned both his bachelor's and master's degree in chemistry, and where he first discovered his passion for teaching. In 2021, he earned a doctorate of education in educational leadership from Trident International University. He joined IVC as a part-time faculty member in 2013 and became a full-time in 2016. Known for his engaging teaching style and unwavering commitment to student success, he teaches both semesters of general chemistry. His students describe him as aspiring, encouraging, and deeply invested in their learning and well-being. Beyond the classroom, he contributes his time and talents through service on key academic committees, has co-coordinated our Student Learning Outcomes Committee, and co-advises IVC's Chemistry Club, ChemUnity, to name a few. He also brings science to life in our broader community, organizing STEAM events at his children's school. He believes deeply in the power of exploration, collaboration, and resilience, and he encourages his students to not only understand chemistry, but to believe in themselves. So without further ado, it is my sincere honor and privilege to welcome our 2025 Outstanding Full-Time Teacher of the Year and this evening's keynote speaker, Dr. Thomas Cullen.
Good evening, everyone. Graduates, families, faculty, and friends. First, let me say congratulations to the class of 2025. You did it. You've accomplished something monumental. And today is a celebration of all the work, sacrifice, curiosity, and if we're honest, possibly some caffeine that got you here. Before I begin, I should admit something. When I started writing this speech about a month ago, I thought, what would my students do? So instead, I waited until last night, and I asked ChatGPT to do it for me. Kidding. But in all honesty, having never written a commencement speech before, I struggled to come up with a theme. However, while writing this speech, I happened to be rereading one of my favorite fantasy novels. And there's a phrase in that book that had some resonance, chemistry term. Journey before destination. It means that who we become along the way often matters more than reaching our goals or our destination. And as a chemist, I can tell you, change doesn't come instantly. It requires activation energy. Your journey isn't about cramming at the last second or getting it perfect the first time. It's about growth, trial and error, and occasionally maybe blowing something up in the lab. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Well, sometimes. Some of you have had to overcome immense barriers. Language, finances, time, family responsibilities, or even doubt. And you kept moving forward, even when the solution wasn't obvious. You didn't stop when it got hard. That's not just grit. That's a phase change under pressure. That's real chemistry. I was once told by my high school biology teacher that if you find a job you enjoy doing, you won't work a day in your life. According to Google, he stole that from Mark Twain, who might have stolen it from Confucius. Either way, they all lied. Some days will be hard work, no matter how much you love your job. Some days you will question your path. Some days you will feel stretched thin or worn down. There will be failures, setbacks, and days when your equilibrium just feels off. But those days don't define you. The way you rise, learn, and keep going, that's the journey. Even in chemistry, some calculations don't yield the right answer on the first try. They take iterations, refining of values, adjusting assumptions, or, convincing yourself that your calculator, it just has to be broken. That back and forth, that trial and error, it's not failure. It's part of the process. It's how we get closer to understanding. As you move forward into the next phase of your life, remember, failure is not the opposite of success. It's the mechanism by which growth happens. Real learning, the kind that changes lives, requires discomfort, vulnerability, and learning from our mistakes. Now more than ever, we must protect the value of education as a tool for thinking, questioning, and improving the world around us. Your education has been more than just passing exams or earning a degree. It's been about learning how to think, how to ask questions that don't have easy answers. It's been about nurturing your own creativity and improving your critical thinking. It's about learning to recognize when the data doesn't fit the model and having the courage to try to come up and find new solutions. The best questions and solutions come when we engage perspectives different than our own. True progress happens when we create spaces where every voice is heard, every mind is valued, and every person has an opportunity to contribute. If education has taught us anything, it's that the world isn't black and white. It's full of complexity, of decisions that challenge us to think deeply and act deliberately. In those moments, lead with kindness. Think about how your choices affect the people around you, not just today, but down the line. You don't need to have all the answers, but you do have the responsibility to make choices that lift others up, not push them down. Because the most meaningful progress doesn't come from power or profit. It comes from caring and fairness, from looking out for one another. That's how we build something better. That's how we move forward. We do it together. As an avid fantasy reader and anime watcher, I've noticed that the characters we love are often faced with impossible choices. Moments when the easy path and the right one are not the same. You may not have eaten a devil fruit or wear glowing armor, but you do carry something just as formidable. The ability to create, to question, to improve, to act with integrity, even when it would be easier not to. In fact, especially when it would be easier not to. You may not know what comes next. That's okay. The journey is not over. In moments of uncertainty, I often refer to 3 ideals from my favorite book. Words that continue to offer clarity and perspective. The first one is life before death, because the world will try to tell you to play it safe, to settle, to shrink. But your life is meant to be lived boldly. Be present, take risks, and keep moving forward. Second, strength before weakness. Because strength isn't about perfection. It's about standing back up after you fall or make mistakes. It's about showing up for others and for yourself, especially when things get hard. Finally, journey before destination. Because success isn't just about reaching a goal. It's about who you become along the way. Growth lives in the in-between moments when you're uncertain, working hard, trying, struggling. That's where you discover what truly matters to you. Regardless of what comes next, you have earned this moment. Whether you're heading into universities, careers, adventures, or even high storms, metaphorical or otherwise. I hope you continue to learn and grow, to challenge easy answers, to protect your spark of curiosity. So take that first step and keep walking, and know that every part of your path has value, especially the hard ones. Thank you, and congratulations again to the class of 2025.
I was waiting for sublimation.
I know, I tried to add as much as I could.
I have my notes this time. Sorry. I won't keep you. It's my honor. This is the recognition of emeritus professors. So with deep appreciation and admiration, we recognize and celebrate the conferral of emeritus status upon 4 esteemed colleagues who have left an indelible mark on our campus community. Yolanda Goldsmith, Melanie Herreri, Kay Riles, and Ilkna Urbis White. Through their years of dedicated service, mentorship, and unwavering commitment to student success, they have helped shape the spirit and strength of Irvine Valley College. We honor their legacy and wish them all the best in this well-earned new chapter. At this point, I invite to the podium Dr. Martha McDonald.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. I'd like to share a little bit about our next speaker, someone some of you may be very familiar with. Clarice is an accomplished 19-year-old STEM student and the president of the Associated Students of Irvine Valley College. A lifelong advocate for her peers and community, she has served in student government since she was in high school, rising from freshman class president to ASB president, and now representing the class of 2025 and over 17,000 students here at IVC. As ASIVC president, she has championed equity-focused initiatives for Latinx students, lobbied for federal legislation in Washington, D.C., and made history as the first student to serve on a hiring committee at the college. She is also an academic tutor and mentor in the Mathematics, Engineering, Science Achievement Center, our MESA Center, and also the Honors Program, where she is dedicated to uplifting first-generation and female STEM students. Most recently, she was elected as a delegate for the California Assembly District 73 in the California Democratic Party, becoming the youngest elected person in her district. I've had the pleasure of working with and getting to know Clarice over the course of this academic year. Clarice is more than just her accomplishments. She is a bright, talented, and compassionate young woman. I once joked with her and asked, "Is there anything that you can't do?" Because truly, her drive and versatility are remarkable. Clarice has been accepted to both UC Berkeley and UCLA, and this fall, she'll be transferring to her dream school, UCLA. With her passion, intelligence, and heart, I have no doubt that her future is incredibly bright. Please help me welcome Clarice.
Good evening, everyone. Administrators behind me, faculty and staff, family, friends, and graduates. It's such an honor to stand before you in this moment to celebrate the culmination of 2 years or more of dedication, sacrifice, and commitment to education. We as community college students come from many different paths. Some of us are returning to school after years away. Some of us are the first in our families to pursue higher education. and others have balanced full-time jobs, parental responsibilities, or personal challenges while striving for academic success. But what unites us today is our persistence and our belief that education opened doors, no matter when or where the journey begins. For me, education has always been deeply personal. I'm proud to say that I come from a family shaped by community college. Both of my parents immigrated from Mexico to the United States and began their higher educational journeys at community colleges. My dad, who didn't know English at the time, enrolled in engineering classes in which he already knew the material from technical school in Mexico just to learn the English language. Through one of his professors, he landed an opportunity at a train safety company as an engineering manager, which helped fund his education and allowed him to transfer to Cal Poly Pomona to study electrical engineering. When my mom attended community college, she joined the Puente program. Yeah. She was part of the very first Puente cohort at Cypress College, which provided her with a community integral to her academic success and transfer process to Cal State Fullerton, where she studied communications and journalism. My mom and I still visit Dr. Mosqueda Ponce's house today for dinner, who served as the Puente director for 25 years at Cypress College. I'm proud to be continuing that legacy, not only as a product of the community college system myself, but also as the first woman in my family to pursue a STEM degree. Like my parents and many of you, I had an entire village behind me at IVC helping me navigate college and transfer to my dream institution, UCLA, to study biochemistry. Thank you. And what has led me here today is the belief my parents have long instilled in me that education is transformative. They taught me that education is a ticket to becoming anything you aspire to be and going anywhere you dream of going. Education is powerful. And today I'm proud to stand before a crowd of individuals who understand that power, who have invested in themselves by pursuing education, and those here to celebrate the accomplishments of their friends and family. Let's take a moment to recognize that whichever walk of life you came from, we are united today by our shared belief in the value of education and our faith in the community college system to change our lives and help us grow into who we are meant to be. But who was I meant to be? I would like to believe that I was meant to be a trailblazer, that I was meant to be one of the many women in STEM paving the way for those who will come after us. Forging this path was not without its hardships. It's difficult navigating a field that remains male-dominated, where the presence of women, especially women of color, is often the exception rather than the norm. I can still remember the first time in my academic journey where I felt like an imposter among us. Last year in the spring, I took my very first physics class. For the first couple of classes, all I could think about was that the classroom actually stank. There was a strong, musty smell that hung in the air. And soon after, the allegations are true, you guys, I'm sorry. It was soon after that I realized it was because I was surrounded by a sea of boys. There was only one other girl in the classroom with me. Thank you for hanging in there with me, Yumi Zhao. It was then that I felt like I wasn't supposed to be in that classroom. I had a couple of allies, Ali Zahidi and Sullivan Barber, who carried me through that class. Their backs must still hurt to this day. But I could not defeat the alienation that I felt internally. The lack of representation erected a psychological barrier that I struggled to overcome, causing me to be unusually quiet, withdrawn, and disconnected from the classroom community. This disconnection affected not only my confidence, but also my academic performance. And this was a moment that could have defined me or deterred me. But instead, I chose to reflect. I realized that I must not let my environment define my sense of belonging or to dictate my success. And I recognized the importance of showing up authentically, regardless of who else occupies the room. And this wasn't a realization that I came to on my own. It was the beautiful Mesa community that I found supporting me along the way that helped me come to this realization. Thank you. And through spending time in the Mesa Center, I connected with so many women in my same position and other tutors and mentors who were willing to support me, who made me realize that I was not alone and I didn't have to be alone in my struggles. What served as one of my biggest motivators, though, was a sign that I passed by every day, hung in the Mesa Program Counselor's office that read, "The future of STEM is female." Thank you, Judy. This phrase reminded me that I have an obligation to persevere and pave the way for other women who will come after me. And this shift in mindset has allowed me to rise above the challenges that come with being underrepresented, and it has given me a great determination to succeed. I now view my presence in STEM not only as a personal triumph alone, but as a responsibility to inspire, represent, and to mentor. This experience has fundamentally shaped my purpose, not just as a student, but as a future scientist, a leader, and an advocate. I would like to thank the Mesa program and Dr. Cesar Montenegro for hiring me as a tutor and allowing me the opportunity to honor my parents by giving back and serving first-generation low-income college students. Thank you. And thank you for vesting your trust in me to support your students. And thank you for mentoring and supporting me through my own academic and professional journey. It is thanks to you that I have the opportunity to participate in Project RAISE this summer and research the cancer-related cognitive impairment that chemotherapy causes on brain cells. Thank you to the students that I've helped at the Mesa Center for trusting me to share with you my knowledge and help you reach academic success. It has truly been an honor serving you. While Mesa became the first community where I truly felt seen, it was not the only one that shaped my experience at IVC. When I first arrived here, I barely knew anyone. I could count on one hand the number of classmates from my high school who came here with me. I knew I needed to find a community where I could contribute and belong. And having spent 4 years in student government in high school, I returned to what I knew best. I joined ASIVC as a justice in my first semester and met my first friends. It was through this organization that I discovered the incredible privilege and responsibility of serving alongside a team of passionate student leaders, all committed to making a meaningful difference on our campus. I would like to take the time to recognize a handful of the students that I've worked with who are real change makers. Thank you, Darlene Yazan and Maba Ahmad, for championing sustainability initiatives and putting together ASIVC's first Earth Day celebration. Thank you, Candy Velasquez, for being such a strong advocate for underrepresented students at the shared governance level and the President's Advisory Council on DEIA. Thank you, Candy. Thank you, Varsha Torpernuri, for pushing for multiple resolutions centered around multilingual accessibility and removal defense for undocumented students. And thank you, Kate Abelos, for being persistent in demanding that the faculty provide transparency to their students when using AI in the classroom. It is the fight within these individuals that inspires me to continue challenging inequitable systems, advocating for my people, creating change, and serving in honor of my constituents. It is because these individuals that I had the strength to advocate against legislation that criminalizes immigrant students and communities at the congressional level in Washington, D.C. Thank you, ASIVC leaders, for teaching me persistence and what it means to fight for what you're passionate about. and I hope to carry your collective strength and leadership to any future feat that I will face. Thank you to the staff in the Student Life and Equity Office, namely Zoraida Quiros, Dr. Armine Daragishian, and Aaron Pollard, for guiding me and this organization into a new era. Now, to close this off, I want to share with you what I heard recently from one of my classmates, Tim. And this really stuck with me for the past few weeks. He said, IVC has been a really great healing place for me. And I couldn't agree more. For so many of us, college has been more than just an institution of learning. It has been a space for healing, rediscovery, and growth. And it's given us the time and support to rebuild, find our voice, and move forward with strength and intention. IVC has nurtured not just our intellect, but our spirit. And as I stand here today, I'm filled with deep gratitude for the challenges that shaped me, for the mentors who have guided me, for the classmates who inspired me, and for the community that held me. This speech has been a reflection of my journey, but is also a celebration of all of us. The barriers we have broken, the courage we have built, and the futures we are creating. To my fellow graduates, may you continue to lead with authenticity, advocate with courage, and never forget the power of education and community. Thank you, Irvine Valley College, and congratulations to the class of 2023.
Clarice, can I ask you to step back to the podium one more time? I want to just recognize your leadership on behalf of the faculty, staff, and students at IVC. I want to thank you for your incredible commitment, your engagement, showing up in your authentic and meaningful way. And I do firmly believe that this has left a mark here for years to come. So congratulations. By the authority vested in me by the state of California, the Board of Governors of the California Community Colleges, and rewind.
Thank you, Dr. Hernandez. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Finally, the moment we all have been waiting for. So, will the graduates that are able please rise? Dr. Hernandez? It gives me great pleasure to present the graduating class of 2025. These students have successfully completed their degree or certificate requirements, and they have been duly recommended by the faculty of Irvine Valley College for the degrees of Associates in Arts, Associates in Sciences, or a Certificate of Achievement.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Irvine Valley College, these students are now candidates for the degrees of Associate of Arts and Associate in Science and Certificates of Achievement. And now, by the authority vested in me by the state of California, the Board of Governors of the California Community Colleges, and the Board of Trustees of the South Orange County Community College District, I hereby confer upon you the degrees of Associate in Arts, Associate in Science, with all the rights and privileges to which you are now entitled. Now I invite you to please come forward to receive your diploma or certificate of achievement, and congratulations.
Clarice Encarnacion.
Charla Clemente.
Juan Angel Rivera.
Mania Rohani.
Akifa Ahmed, summa cum laude.
Tala Almini, cum laude.
Alin Guadalupe Lasama.
Fabiola Rendon.
Kilo Roden.
Jamie Christina Du.
Jamie Michelle Owens.
Remy Nimand.
Joseph Lopez Valdovinos.
Deshara Harris.
Raimundo Jatazami Reina.
Eduardo Niguez.
Sora Olivia Elling, cum laude.
Helen Samuel Wan.
Ruben Mendoza Estrada.
Oliver Huerta Medina.
Rodrigo Marconel Tejedor, magna cum laude.
Sana Busugi.
Jack Allen Featherston, magna cum laude.
David Doberstein.
Ali Adam Hussein Tehrani.
Joshua Simonton.
Jonas Foppen.
Jamie Ipin.
Marcio de Oliveira Costa.
Alex Emiliano Lopez Vélez.
Diego Navarro.
Carolina Bunch.
Benaz Nasirian Beforos, summa cum laude.
Joshua Alejandro Alsina.
Puria Puris Bain, magna cum laude.
Jonathan Parada.
Timothy Lee Miller.
Luis Ángel Alcaraz.
Blake Stewart Beckett Maines.
Connor Schofield Bateman.
Ethan Scott Valtier, summa cum laude.
Homa Abarian, cum laude.
Anchagal Amarbayas Galan, cum laude.
Shreen Liu. magna cum laude.
Marisol Morales, cum laude.
Melissa Barrera.
Eddie Chea Jr., magna cum laude.
Amina Hassan Nabil Hassan.
Mia Mariah Espino.
Yadira Isabel Paz.
Hagar Samir, magna cum laude.
Hira Yusuf.
Mernaz Hakimi Agdam, cum laude.
Jasmine Isabel Diaz.
Ana Yasmin Hernandez.
Monique Cardona Guerra, cum laude.
Toby Boyd Cole, cum laude.
Matthew Israel Sanchez.
Ethan K. Doe.
Tokara LaShawn Copeland.
Hank Evan Oxford.
Ariana Sonesh Mulchandani, magna cum laude.
Elsa Huaka Lee, summa cum laude.
Gislyn Doe, summa cum laude.
Saf Ahmad Siddiqui, magna cum laude.
Artin Salehi, cum laude.
Dalton Henry Sabine.
Isaac Anthony Gutierrez, magna cum laude.
Zephaniah Purba, cum laude.
Justine Dizon Jukaban.
Ethan Lynn, cum laude.
Aiden Porter Glenane.
Luca Japich, magna cum laude.
Ahmad Zachariah Kazi, cum laude.
Arya John Esfahani, magna cum laude.
Makati Kane Pham, magna cum laude.
Sullivan Smith Barber, cum laude.
Steve Salinas, magna cum laude.
Briel Jean Ryder Horner, magna cum laude.
Paul Bautien Vu, summa cum laude.
Chelsea Nicole Garcia.
Mahan Koramzad, magna cum laude.
Noah Chi Ge Cheng, summa cum laude.
Rogina Ni Aki, summa cum laude.
Isa Khalil, summa cum laude.
Hauhan Yang, summa cum laude.
Robert Hong Lee Jr., magna cum laude.
Giovanni Martinez Basortu.
Ali Sina Nasser.
Amber Rose Santos Camacho, magna cum laude.
Elena Ramos Castillo.
Sandra Suzanne Negretti.
J.D. Wong, cum laude.
Matthew Daniel Renee, summa cum laude.
Michael Zenwei Chen, magna cum laude.
Toby Peter Chu, magna cum laude.
Mohammed Merdrad Ziazi.
Lauren Elizabeth Olwelling, magna cum laude.
Kira Elise Hazeltine.
Allison Heather Lamb, magna cum laude.
Sarah Lamb.
Amrit Kaur Sahota, magna cum laude.
Hannah Nicole Hernandez, cum laude.
Alexander Quinn, cum laude.
Harir Gafur.
Salma Mohmand, cum laude.
Diana Emareth Bello.
Harvey Saavedra.
Ana Araceli Marquez, cum laude.
Kuupitu Laumatia, magna cum laude.
Brianna Justina Knowlton.
Albert Aragon.
Natalie Rodriguez.
Jessica Martin.
Tara Elaine Milligan.
Felix Ode Martinez Jr., cum laude.
Julian Anthony Santos Ayusa.
Luke Thomas Garino.
Genesis Chavez.
Mariana Mendez Ramos.
Daisy Duan Trong.
Edwin Douglas Martinez Espinosa, magna cum laude.
Giovanni Rios Ramirez, cum laude.
Destiny Shanae Brozard, cum laude.
Ellie Nguyen, magna cum laude.
Tracy Nguyen, summa cum laude.
Lori King.
William Tang.
Julia Nicole Martinez Bennett.
Sarah Ann Leopis.
Olivia Manville, magna cum laude.
Ethan Truong Win.
Tala Almini.
David Matthew Sowry, cum laude.
Ariel Hines.
India Isabella Williams, cum laude.
Neftali Jazil Flores.
Thomas William Fukuda, cum laude.
Larissa Rayan Martinez, summa cum laude.
Emilio Anthony Martinez, cum laude.
Ting Chi Tai.
Sarah Giselle Campagna.
Nur Aldin Shamara, summa cum laude.
Sarina Afshermand, magna cum laude.
Artemis Majur.
Bardia Jackson Shari, cum laude.
Bar Avni, summa cum laude.
Atayir Atri, summa cum laude.
Sinisa Glamochik, magna cum laude.
Luis Carlos Lucero.
Kimberly Mardiano.
Elijah Salinas Bird, magna cum laude.
Vieshavi Kagita.
Rusho Kagita.
Arya Jolly.
Prisha Chowdhury, magna cum laude.
Giovanni Paolo Ariana, cum laude.
Aditya Avinash Jadav, magna cum laude.
Yusuf Mohammed Al-Safti.
Ryan Yekani.
Bardia Sarin Fakr.
Diana Carolina Hernandez, cum laude.
Salma Ilyasu, summa cum laude.
Maram Mustafa, magna cum laude.
Sultana Lina Kabir, magna cum laude.
Sitlali Herrera, cum laude.
Ivan de la Cruz.
Ashley Nicole Flores.
Ana Gloria Oliman, cum laude.
Nicholas Marco Simic.
Madison Kaylee Brandt, magna cum laude.
Kamalish Sadhu.
Timon Kutsir, magna cum laude.
Rebecca Hyangi Lee, magna cum laude.
Galia Diaz Montoya, magna cum laude.
Iman Hassan.
Yasmin Michelle Gonzalez, cum laude.
Emmanuel Cortes Gomez.
Julio Cesar Raso.
Randy Alexander Ramos Suarez.
Marley Ezequiel de la Cruz.
Andres Morales.
Unkang Abigail Kenny.
Emma Carrasco.
Adam Henry Pacera.
Dylan James Byer, magna cum laude.
Hina Yajima.
Maza Suleiman Abdul.
Rayon K. Derenkai, summa cum laude.
Abdullah Mazuz Al-Sharif, summa cum laude.
Ibrahim John Sarpas, Sr., cum laude.
Jadine Garcia Laura.
Kirsten Paolo Collado.
Tina Mirta Batubi, magna cum laude.
Caitlin Rin.
Elizabeth Sue Shea, summa cum laude.
Autumn Lynn Havlik, magna cum laude.
Isabel Kathleen Barbosa, cum laude.
Scott Lee, summa cum laude.
Ayin Jethro Magat, summa cum laude.
Daniel Eric Nitash, summa cum laude.
Ryan Shababa, summa cum laude.
Edwin Casillas.
Wendy Veronica Estrada.
Saori Juliet Hernandez Rodriguez.
Jacob Ian Wisdom.
Gustavo Gonzalez.
Mocha Mina Saiki, magna cum laude.
Avril Ho, cum laude.
Fernanda Leah Oblitas Lopez, magna cum laude.
Alan Keith Moser.
Tongsi Liu, magna cum laude.
Elena Lauren Lay, summa cum laude.
Suki Wang.
Dustin Alexandra Serizawa.
Kiza Lee.
Kayla Sharifi, cum laude.
Leah Elizabeth Hull, summa cum laude.
Shada Suazo, cum laude.
Clara Guzman, magna cum laude.
Marie Angelina Riddle, cum laude.
Jod Abu Zayer.
Jonathan Neil Van Brunt.
Alan Valentino Caparoso.
Kevin Tran Lee, magna cum laude.
Ray Tony Hoshi, magna cum laude.
Vibhas Epili.
Adhirsh Ashwin Mayamparath, cum laude.
Donna Kimnan Nguyen, magna cum laude.
Alexis Nok Tang.
Tasmia Pushpita, magna cum laude.
Tara Nicole Elizabeth Leon, cum laude.
Jasmine Quintana.
Christian Nathan Ye, magna cum laude.
Nebula Rose Gatica.
Stella Ha, magna cum laude.
Claire Yi Tien Chan.
Krishna Unique Nung, magna cum laude.
Lauren Alexis Sudam, magna cum laude.
Susan Zaliden, magna cum laude.
Laura Zainadine, magna cum laude.
Mia Rose Maurice.
Aline Margot Franklin.
Wesley Francis Bentley.
Nicholas Adanago.
Aiden Zoe Gray, magna cum laude.
Morgan Rose Goldman, cum laude.
Marion Kamei.
Maya Dalati, cum laude.
Michaela Michelle Stein.
Sofia Grimakovskaya, cum laude.
Jocelyn Isabella Penaloza, magna cum laude.
Ranisha Lashawn Shears.
Melee Erduran, summa cum laude.
Sanaz Farzad.
Paria Zarbafi.
Ria Bushan.
Emily Marie Rigdon.
Nicholas Andrew Hubert, cum laude.
Aram Iravani, cum laude.
Alexander Moore.
Jack Sherman Stone, summa cum laude.
Michaela Lohman, cum laude.
Martina Mikhail Martina Mikhalel, magna cum laude.
Event Santa Maria.
Dalisa Edmondson.
Eric Omar Gomez.
Matthew S. Leong.
Hongzi Luo, summa cum laude.
Ryan Yoshio Kubota, summa cum laude.
Marianne Jane Fernandez Fuentes.
Dylan Masari Arai, cum laude.
Allison Louise Quinn, magna cum laude.
Alina Tyson, summa cum laude.
Michael Chia Hong Shea, summa cum laude.
Katali Lin.
Farishta Islam, summa cum laude.
Eddie Daniel Castillo.
Abraham Rodolfo Ramirez.
Francisco Ricardo Velázquez.
Celine Kaylee Salor.
Ashley Michelle Bonilla Lopez, cum laude.
Savina Maya Huang, magna cum laude.
Christine Tran.
Ava Lavia Carson, summa cum laude.
Aryan Sachin Shah.
Alexander Gael Dorantes, summa cum laude.
Nathan Tanson Bowie, cum laude.
Drish Karangula, summa cum laude.
Carl Johan Landayan, cum laude.
Madison Lee Hyman, summa cum laude.
Madison Villa Culineo, summa cum laude.
Caleb Anthony Saucedo.
Joshua Small, magna cum laude.
Ana Sofia Barrera.
Jordan Lee Youngkin.
Arezu Bahrami.
Romina Oshidari, magna cum laude.
Rebecca Susana Peña, summa cum laude.
Selena Panda.
Lale Turner, magna cum laude.
Ocean Grace Hall, magna cum laude.
Avery Skylar Johnson, summa cum laude.
Adrian Javier Correa.
Janlan Wu.
Ni Pham, magna cum laude.
Davik Patel.
Isaac Ihang Lee.
Eric Kwan.
William Prawira, magna cum laude.
Lars Voigtbui, magna cum laude.
Naomi Basaria Tambunan, cum laude.
Ashley Paulina Conley, cum laude.
Chloe Jalen Huang, magna cum laude.
Sushmita Reddy Palay, magna cum laude.
Karen Clark George.
Caitlin Nat Trong, magna cum laude.
Claire Tan Nguyen, summa cum laude.
Ryan Wu, magna cum laude.
Catherine Reina Cabrera Mariano, cum laude.
Elizabeth Serenity Yu, summa cum laude.
Isha Pandit, magna cum laude.
Kayla Marie Del Rosario, magna cum laude.
Daniel Jason Cohn.
Ivan Martin Reina Linares, summa cum laude.
Vendonta Condi.
Eduardo G. Hun Lee, magna cum laude.
Abia Salman.
Hashim Ali.
Brendan Nicholas Romero.
Lori Sharikian, summa cum laude.
Daisy Angelica Gomez Ambries.
Jin Tanizaki, summa cum laude.
Alyssa Maria Griego.
Connor Ryan Joyce.
Wu Jin Cho.
Shri Ukesh Kumar.
Mariam Farah Ahmadi.
Cameron Marie Melendres.
Lauren Cynthia Wijaja.
Elena Lewick, summa cum laude.
Safa Ehma Ahmad.
Yair Rivera.
Karim Eswani.
Hui Kwok Din, cum laude.
Bella Trezor Saucedo, magna cum laude.
Joaquin Ignacio Ramos Lopez.
Natalia Ferrufino, cum laude.
Shana Nilufar Salehi.
Jenna Stella Brown, cum laude.
Calvin Henry Lermo.
Haley Alana Barrios.
Samantha Giselle Varela, magna cum laude.
Talia Merve Hostetler.
Demetrius Gabriel Owens Jr., magna cum laude.
Maria Angel Bustos.
Jacqueline Taylor Thompson, cum laude.
Michaela Paxton.
Megan Ree Alonso.
Abdullah Mazuz Al-Sharif.
Kira Sofia Goto.
Karim Al-Mu'alam.
Craig Andrew Ledbetter.
Maritza Rebollar Marquina.
Cassandra Liana Uribe.
Logan Parker.
Isabella Yesenia Trejo.
Fernanda Cabezas.
Omar Arafe, summa cum laude.
Ajay Paul Singh.
Amberly Isabel Juarez Benitez, magna cum laude.
Kenya Amy Pamela Serrano.
Allah Hassan Nashnush.
Ola Mohammed Meawad.
Driyun Wu.
Kais Asadi, summa cum laude.
Sara Sohayi, cum laude.
Nika Ismaili.
Haniye Sharafian, summa cum laude.
Max Jair Santayana Jr., cum laude.
Mark Thaddeus Bernardino Villavert, magna cum laude.
Jesus Tapia.
Andrew Marciniak.
Shireen Sahib Mohamjawad, magna cum laude.
Jessica Winston, magna cum laude.
Nicole Reese Hicks, magna cum laude.
Jade Nicole Connor.
Ying Sui Ma, cum laude.
Peyun Liu, magna cum laude.
Kimia Kianianian, summa cum laude.
David Dafdian, summa cum laude.
Amanda Tram An Tanu.
Jeffren Contreras.
Nikki Tan Win.
Yasaman Nasab.
Samantha Caitlin Garcia.
Evelyn Bulam.
Hyukray Kim.
Nicholas Frederick Kus, magna cum laude.
Arsalan Zafarmand, summa cum laude.
Luciano Pardo Sr.
Ahmed Mohammed Lazim.
Natalie Ray Malouf.
Daniel Sagrero, magna cum laude.
Varsha Torponuri, summa cum laude.
Ali Sorab Sajadi, magna cum laude.
Kundana Samatur, magna cum laude.
Candy Sky Velasquez.
Giuliano Mary Romeo.
Shireen Ibrahim, summa cum laude.
Javier Jesus Soto.
Stephen Lamond King, Sr.
Gui Gia Tran, summa cum laude.
Kaylee Kim Lin Wen.
Malena Levitt, magna cum laude.
Alden Yi Stromberg.
Zahra Musrur.
Misato Iwamoto, magna cum laude.
Tong Nguyen, magna cum laude.
Syed Sepper Sarayon, magna cum laude.
Alejandra Ramirez, cum laude.
Elia Rushdan, magna cum laude.
Oscar Antonio Leon.
Ian Orlando Chow, magna cum laude.
Abigail Elizabeth Koo, magna cum laude.
Amal Ahmed Mohammed Ibrahim, cum laude.
David Liu Jr., summa cum laude.
Harun Mohammed, magna cum laude.
Christopher Hong, summa cum laude.
Gautam Deshmukh, magna cum laude.
Lauren Nicole Daubert, magna cum laude.
Sarah Rosales.
Karen Engel Castillo Gonzalez.
Danielle Nahera.
Anthony Michael Mendoza.
Melissa Guadalupe Leal, magna cum laude.
Nico Smith Ramirez.
Shadiq Albayon Anderson.
Jemo Casabar.
Arjun Batra.
Trisha Marian Macias.
Bradley Bernardo Perez.
Naomi Edith Cordova Cuellar.
Anna Rita Yagodin.
Zala Siddiq.
Christine Marie Chai, summa cum laude.
Sonia Giselle Zekria, magna cum laude.
Romina Tahir Ojarud.
Nilufar Meshk.
Aida Ahmadian, cum laude.
Nika Dominique Sarmiento Reyes, summa cum laude.
Zahra Ahmed.
Sana Madina Durani, summa cum laude.
Khalid Aziz.
Talia Hussein.
Luis Jude Lim Manalo, cum laude.
Dan Trong Tran, cum laude.
Adina Batul Sayed, magna cum laude.
Anam Fahim, cum laude.
Sophia Cruz, magna cum laude.
Benjamin Jackson.
Amir Jacob Salem.
Edsel Gael Lara Jaimes.
Alyssa Monique Vargas.
Sahi Darudi, cum laude.
Mohammed Sadiq.
Magdalena Anna Wollert Zuka.
Please join us in singing the alma mater, led by IVC music major Eduardo Iñiguez. The lyrics are on page 6 of your program.
Hills shimmer in the light. Here our hopes awakened, here our dreams took flight. Where the long last sun ray paints the hills and sky, here our hearts found shelter, here we came alive. Will we call to industry, call to science and the arts? Friends at Irvine Valley, always in our hearts. Irvine Valley, alma mater, voices rise to young. We will long remember the silver and the blue.
As we close, let me take a moment to thank the commencement work group for their hard work and efforts to make this a truly special occasion. Our sincerest gratitude. To our guests, please remain seated until the graduates have left this venue and for the music to stop before exiting to join your graduates. Will the graduates who are able please rise? Graduates, there's a time-honored tradition left to perform to signify your graduation. As a symbol of your achievement, I now invite you to move your tassel from the right to the left. Congratulations to the class of 2025.
you.